On August 7, 2011, the Sunnyvale Historical Society hosted an all-school reunion where anyone who went to school in Sunnyvale could reconnect with former classmates and reminisce the past. During the reunion, we asked people to share their favorite memories from their school days in Sunnyvale.
My name is Tilly Ann Simon Pope, and I graduated from Fremont High School in 1950. The nicest memory I have of Fremont High is if you stayed for after-school activities and you missed that one bus that went into Sunnyvale after classes, then you'd have to walk. You'd have to walk that 1.5 miles or 2 miles into town. So we would cut across through the cherry orchards that were between Butcher's Corner and Fremont High, and we would pick cherries and put the cherries, we'd hang them on our earlobes, and we'd pick 4 or 5 of those, and then we'd eat cherries all the way home until we got to Butcher's Corner.
I guess one of the things that I miss is the Wilson walnut orchard. The Wilson Walnut Orchard is where City Hall is now, and the library, and these walnut trees were huge. And if you would be in another part of the town, and then you would go to the orchard, the temperature would be like 10 degrees less because you would be in this orchard of these large trees, and it was so cool and interesting. And you were in the country already, and that was where the City Hall is today. That was already country. Sunnyvale, just went up to Olive Street at that time, and didn't even go to El Camino on that part of town. And I miss the walnut orchards. I miss walking to Fremont with my grandmother to watch my uncle in his football, when he was at Fremont High School in football. And we would have to actually walk through the country to get to Fremont High School. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much.
My name is Jim Miller, and I'm going to talk about working the fields. In 1958, 59, 60, 61, Sunnyvale was orchards, and the big orchards were cherries and walnuts and apricots. And when you were a kid and needed work, the only work that was available were the fields. So the first job I had was cutting apricots, and they have these long trays that you have to fill with apricots, and you cut the apricot in half and get rid of the seed and you put it in the tray. And the women who were great would do 20 trays a day, and I think I was lucky to get 4 trays done in one day. My career lasted 4 days because I turned out to be allergic to sulfur, which was what they put to dry the apricots. So we're in this open air shed-like, cutting apricots, and by the end of the 4th day I had rashes all over my body. So that ended my apricot career. So then I moved to picking beans on what is now called Lawrence Expressway. It was also called Lawrence Station Road, and there were bean fields out there near Highway 101. Of course, it wasn't a highway too much, but it out near 101 and Lawrence. So the bean fields were the next place I went to find work. So we had to pick buckets of beans. And so you find out how slow you are at picking beans as well as cut the apricots. So that's what I did in the summers until I found a more professional job. But this was the Santa Clara Valley, and this was wonderful fruit and vegetables. It was great fields.
I came to Fremont High School District in September 1951 as a teacher council at Fremont High School. I remained for 6 years to 1957. In 1957, I was made a vice principal at the newly operated school, then 4 years old, at Sunnyvale High School, and 3 years as a vice principal. And in 1960, I was appointed the principal at Sunnyvale High School, where I remained for 6 years, 1966. First of all, I came in 1951. We had about 1,000 students and about 35 staff members, certificated staff. On that staff was somewhat of a phenomenon in names. They had a person, Fernandez, and a Fernandez. And another such person has a Stanger and a Stanger. And they had another couple, a Fleck and a Flock. And I do say the students surely must have been confused. Which class do I go to next? Stanger, Stanger. But we had 15,000 high school students in 1976 and 650 teachers. 30 years of my career, I had 2 years experience at Shasta High in Reading before Fremont. I enjoyed every minute of it, at every capacity: teacher, counselor, dean of boys, director of activities, vice principal, research assistant, principal, and assistant superintendent. Of all of those positions, I enjoyed them all. My most enjoyable block of time, 9 years, was at Sunnyvale High School. I loved Fremont High too, but I was in a position at Sunnyvale where I thought I could make a difference in a leadership role. And some of the achievements of those students at Sunnyvale, unbelievable. The socioeconomic factor has produced some of the finest people from that high school that I've ever met. So I hold all dear to my heart, but the dearest block of time, period of time, was at Sunnyvale High School.